going to talk about transitioning hands today. For those of us who have to qualify for work, or some of us who are in states that have to shoot a qualification in order to be eligible to carry your firearm, there are quote-unquote test questions on the qualification shoot that does require you to shoot with your quote-unquote non-dominant hand or non-primary shooting hand. So we're going to go through two methods that I learned, and these were taught to me up at 6 Hour Academy when I went up there to get their semi-automatic pistol instructor certification. There are, I'm sure, other methods out there, but these were the two that were taught up there. I happen to like them. As long as you do it safely, we want to make sure that those fingers stay parked up on the frame away from the triggers while we're doing this. I am using a CERT 110 laser training gun. Simulates a Glock 17 or Glock 22, so Glock full-size frame. And it does shoot just lasers, pew-pew. So it is not a live firearm that we're working with here at the bench. So, point of clarification as well. We don't use weak or strong hand. We use firing hand and support hand, or shooting hand and support hand. We can use dominant, non-dominant. I just been taught in recent years that we want to stay away from the term weak hand or strong hand, even though on our qualifications it actually lists that. So it's quote-unquote regular shooting hand and quote-unquote not regular shooting hand. So you'll hear me refer to it as firing side and support side, and you know, once we switch hands, the hand that's holding the gun becomes the firing side and the other side becomes the support side. So let's start with our standard grip here. Here's the first method. I'm starting here with my standard grip. Those trigger fingers on the side, support grip's nice and high. If I need to go ahead and switch from my regular firing hand here over to the support side and take some shots here. If I'm going to do a two-handed, what I'm going to do is one of two things. First thing I can do is actually bring my firing side thumb over, sandwich the gun, right? So you see I've got a tight sandwich here, and then I'm going to bring my support side thumb around the back strap here, right up high into the tang. The trigger finger on the support side is now going to rest on the frame, and then what was the trigger finger on the firing side is now going to basically wrap around the trigger guard here. So what I've done essentially is actually switched my hand to the left side here for me, which was my support hand, is now my firing hand. So switching back, if we're doing a left-hander here, I'm going to take that firing side thumb, I'm going to sandwich the gun, I'm going to bring the support side thumb around, and at this point, I don't know if you can see this, I'm going to actually swap my fingers around. So now I'm gripping here, and this hand, this left hand, is now going to come back and provide the support grip as before. So again, firing side thumb comes over, that exposes the back strap. What was the support side thumb now comes across. The support side is now my firing side. So trigger finger comes up here. At this point, I'm actually going to swap out the hand that is actually making contact with the grip. So because this left hand is now my firing grip, I'm actually going to take my support hand, which is now my right hand. I'm going to open up my grip here. I'm going to establish my left hand as my firing grip, and then you see that there, and then my right hand is now going to establish the support hand grip. So now I'm back into a left-handed firing position. Now, let me get this, go ahead and use the same methodology and switch it back. Okay. Now the second method is basically very similar, but instead of doing a sandwiching motion here, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to loosen my grip a bit and let the gun fall down like this. Now I've exposed this area of the tang. I'm going to go ahead and swap over. Again, thumb comes over from the support side trigger finger comes up on the frame. All right, and then I'm going to basically release my grip from my right hand and then reestablish it onto the gun as now the support side hand. So the right hand has become the support side, the left hand has become the firing side. So taking a look at that again, if I'm a left-hander, I'm going to go ahead and get that back end of the gun, the high part of the tang, the beaver tail there. I'm going to get that open. Support side thumb's going to come across. Support side trigger finger is going to come up on the frame. Okay. Then I'm going to take these fingers here and I'm going to go ahead and establish them as my grip. My support side hand, now my left hand, is going to come back and establish my traditional support side grip. So again, watching that happen, I'm going to open up that back strap, come around here, and establish that grip. Going back, I'm going to expose that back strap, come across, and swap hands. So those are the two methods that I'm going to use to go ahead and transition from hand to hand when required, when I'm shooting any sort of qualification, or if I'm just wanting to switch hands while I'm shooting. It's always a good idea to be proficient with both hands, just because you never know when you're going to need that other hand, and we're never guaranteed the use of either hand or either eye. So sometimes when we're doing barrier shooting, it actually becomes a good idea if I'm coming to the left side of the barrier, especially if I'm left eye dominant but right-handed. It's actually easier and I can expose less of myself if I go ahead and transition those hands, and I can cant the gun out a little bit and expose a little bit less of myself in terms of clearing the barrier to actually take the shots. So do this back and forth and it'll become very natural and you'll be able to do it fairly quickly. So that's the tip for today. If any questions at all, just go ahead and message me down below in the comments. As always, if you like what you're seeing here, we ask that you go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Go ahead, like and subscribe. Click the bell there so you're notified of any new videos that we put up. And on that note, hope you all have a great day. Be safe, and we'll see you out on the range.